That was after I'd gotten a land use planning degree and regional planning degree in college. And so I worked on the planning board for about a year before I moved up here. And I worked in land stewardship and GIS for a land trust down in North Carolina, conserving the beautiful parklands of the Yadkin PD River Valley. And then I decided to move up here in 2011 and attend graduate school at Seton Hall. Got involved in a lot of foreign affairs and political stuff in Manhattan for a while. And then in 2016, my wife and I moved into Maplewood Village. And I'm a big believer in civic activity. I used to be a newspaper journalist for a small daily in North Carolina. And the whole point was to highlight little known hobby clubs or activities for the sake of getting the public engaged in the affairs of the community, because that's elemental, that's fundamental to a strong and resilient society, is having the people at the local levels engaged. Like this, what's the saying? Like all policies, all politics is local, and it matters. So I'm proud to be a resident of Maplewood Village, to live here in Maplewood, and to bring my expertise. I've also done a lot of some urbanism research stuff around some UN conferences relating to UN habitat and the implementation of the new urban agenda, and SDG 11, Sustainable Development Goal number 11, which is sustainable urban communities. So I've got some brainstorming experience that I can bring in regards to both sustainable land use and innovations in well-being through design. So it's an honor to have been considered by the council, and I'm happy to make myself available as a service to the township. Great.
Well, I'll move your appointment to the Board of Adjustment as alternate number 2.
Second.
Please call the roll.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mr. McGeehee?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
I believe the next meeting is the 23rd. It was pushed back. It usually is the first Monday, which would have been the last night, but I think it's now the 26th or so.
Oh, okay.
But
The 26th.
you'll get a notice from Adele, our secretary.
Good stuff. And I also got the email from you about the special visioning session. So
You coming?
I will come to that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right,
So,
great.
all right, I got to duck out. I got to get back to the field. But
All right, thank you.
See you tomorrow.
Interesting plastic bag stuff that I'm really interested in.
Okay.
Just my 2 cents. A 5-cent fee, I'm not opposed to it. Plastic bags have a lot of externalities. Like the external costs have been absorbed by oversubsidization of plastic when weighed against the costs. Essentially, what it boils down to of human extinction is what the result of plastic use is. And so casting that price on the consumer is a good way to leverage economic factors in reducing use. So I'm a big fan of making 10, 15 cents. Why not? So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
replacing everything with paper. So that's just my comment, but thanks guys, and I will be in touch.
Thanks very much.
Thank
you.
Thank you.
Okay, public comment. Is there anyone who would like to address the Township Committee? Ms. Viveros, the homeowner at 10 Inwood is here. I think we could have him come up at that time as opposed to now. When we deal with it later, make it all one comment, conversation. Okay, seeing no one, we'll move on to our monthly Board of Health meeting.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Pursuant to Section 5, Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, this is to state for the record that adequate notice of this meeting has been provided to the public by posting and maintaining the annual notice of regular meetings on the bulletin board of the municipal building, by mailing the annual notice of regular meetings for 2018 to the News Record and Star Ledger in December 2017, and by filing said notice in the office of the Township Clerk.
Ms. Adams?
Yes, here.
Mr. Daffis?
Here.
Mr. Lembrick?
With bells on, here.
Mayor DeLuca?
I'm just here.
Yeah.
Mr. McGeehee?
Here.
Whereas Chapter 231, Public Laws of 1975, commonly known as the Open Public Meetings Act, requires all meetings of public bodies be open to the public. And whereas Section 7 provides that the Board of Health has the discretion to permit, prohibit, or regulate the active participation of the public at any meeting, and whereas desire the Maplewood Board of Health to comply with the provisions of this Act, same time to conduct its business in an orderly and expeditious manner, now therefore be resolved by the Maplewood Board of Health, the Township of Maplewood, does hereby prohibit, except as set forth in the formal agenda, active participation in the deliberations of the Board of Health by the public, except as otherwise described by law, does limit the public to the observation of the actions and discussions of the Board of Health at all of its regular and special meetings.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Adams?
Yes.
Mr. Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes.
Mr. McGeehee?
Yes. Thank you, Ms. Fritzen. I will now seek approval of the minutes from the June 6, 2018 meeting.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the minutes of the meeting of June 6, 2018.
Second.
Ms. Adams? Yeah. Mr. Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes.
Mr. McGehee?
Yes. I will now entertain a motion to approve the agreement with Lattimore Clinic for tuberculosis services.
Mr. President, I move that we approve the agreement with Lattimore Clinic for tuberculosis services.
May I get a second, please?
Second.
Ms. Adams? Yes. Mr. Daffis?
Yes.
Mr. Lembrick?
Yes.
Mayor DeLuca?
Yes.
President McGehee?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what's happening.
Mr. Rowe, you may now approach.
Thank you for that approval. It was somewhat of an administrative thing. The Lattimore Clinic wanted to strengthen their hand so that when they need to apply for funds, they can show all the municipalities that they have agreements with. So thank you for that.
Understood.
I sent a letter to St. Barnabas asking if we could, maybe we could have a representative on one of their advisory boards. And I spoke to the person who handles some of that, and she was very agreeable to it. So hopefully we'll be able to find a good representative at some point to work with Barnabas. I guess the main issue which caused a lot of concern at the Environmental Committee, and where these signs we see up, they say mosquito squad.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, that immediately raised question marks. Who are these guys? What are they spraying? Is it killing honeybees? That sort of thing. We found out some about it, but I think we have a ways to go. What I have found out is that they do have a license from the New Jersey DEP to spray for mosquitoes. They're duly licensed, but they have to follow the DEP and the EPA regulations, which are on the label. And so we're going to, the chemicals they use they're called a pyrethrin type chemical. It's a family of chemicals that are similar, and they're good for killing mosquitoes, but if they're not used properly, they could kill other insects. And our concern was if they're spraying during the day, they might be killing non-target insects, which are actually beneficial insects. So we're trying to learn more about that. The Essex County Mosquito Control, this is the kind of thing that gives us pause with the mosquito squad, because we think they spray during the day. In fact, we're sure of it because people have told us that. But when the Essex County Mosquito Control sprays, they spray at night because they just want to hit the mosquitoes. And most of the other beneficial insects are tucked away for the night. And so they're not harmed by the spray. So that's another reason for concern. And they also, you know, use what they call an ultralight mist that the residual is only just a few hours, and so by the time you wake up in the morning, the residual is gone. It's not going to hurt your